Hello. Welcome to Two Dorks Read The Phantom of Manhattan by Frederick Forsyth, in which Natalie and Michael, two Phantom fans on a mission, subject themselves to the book that served as the launchpad for Love Never Dies, Andrew Lloyd Webber's controversial sequel to Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera. Our story continues.
Let's see what this next chapter holds in store for us. It's not terribly long. It looks like we're going to be reading chapter 8.
Mm-hmm. This wasn't too fucking long, was it?
No.
It looks like that we're starting to get back to healthy length chapters again. Maybe. Because for a while there, it looked like there was going to be 25 chapters, but each chapter was like 3 pages.
Yeah, well, not everyone can be like that fucking dude.
That's true. Mme Giry's dead, so now we need someone else to take up the torch here.
Mme Giry's dead, so now we only have like small chapters because no one talks as much as her.
I mean, that New York guy talks a lot, I guess, but...
Oh, well, the New York guy, it's because he's one of them journalists.
Yeah, I went to Delmonico's. It was fine. I love Eric. I love opera. I don't know.
Opera.
Father Joe, we should go and meet with Eric and Darius and get high and worship Mammon. It's gonna be great.
That's what it said. A lot here. Do you remember one of the things that I taught you? You teach with a strap sometimes.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
All right, so
who is this?
I have no idea who this man is.
This is the dispatch of Bernard Smith. He's a
shipping correspondent. God help us. This is going to not be dull at all, I'm sure.
Bernard Smith.
All right. So you kicked off last chapter, so I guess I'll kick off Bernard.
Oh, please be my guest.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think I'm going to be this man because you are saddled with Father Joe. So good luck with that.
Just wait until I start my freaking New Orleans accent.
All right, so right now it's November 29th. How many days has it been? Okay, so this is the next day, the very next day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Further proof was offered, if further proof was even needed, that the great harbor of New York has become the greatest magnet in the world for the reception of the finest and most luxurious liners our Earth has ever seen. Just 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Barely more.
10 years old.
I am positive that this somehow is related to Eric just because of the time frame. Just 10 years ago, barely more than 3 luxury liners plied the North Atlantic route from Europe to the New World. The voyage was hard, and most travelers favored the summer months. Today, our tugs and lightermen are spoiled for choice. The British Inman Line has a regular schedule with her City of Paris. Okay. Cunard matched their rivals with the new Campania and Lucania?
Wait. That's supposed to be the Lusitania, I think.
No way. The Lusitania, well, maybe.
Yeah, because afterwards there's the White Star Line, and they fucking sunk. Excuse the pun, with the Titanic loss.
Let's learn. What is the Lucania? Is that anything? Lucania. I can't type. Lucania ship. I think it was a ship. The RMS Lucania was a British ocean liner owned by the Cunard Steamship Line shipping company. Okay.
Okay.
This is I'm not sure I like Forsyth's writing style very much, but at the same time, he's got his info down. It launched.
I like that actually.
Yeah, it launched in 1893 on February 2nd.
Oh, we had with the Majestic and the Teutonic.
Yep. So
yeah,
look, he might be really weird about Phantom characters, but he's got the history part okay. I think he really, really wants this to be ragtime. Have you ever, have you read Ragtime or seen the musical at all?
No, I haven't seen. I know what ragtime is.
Oh yeah, so it's just kind of like a historical fiction by E.L. Doctorow, where he's got his own characters, for his own fictional characters, but they all intermingle with historical characters of the time. And he tries very hard to imbue it with real life happenings to help flesh out the story. And so I feel like this is very similar. It's just done not as well.
Wait,
But the history's there.
Wait. Listen to this. This is from 1906, right?
Yes, this page is 1906.
The RMS Majestic construction started in 1913. And the maiden voyage was the 12th of May 1922.
Forsyth!
For fuck's sake.
Fine, okay. So, whatever. Cunard matched their rivals with the new Campania and Lucania, while the White Star Line fight back with, maybe in the future somewhere, 7 years from now, the Majestic and the Teutonic.
The Teutonic works, though.
Okay. With the Majestic, but the Teutonic is now. All these Britishers are fighting for the privilege of carrying the rich and famous from Europe to experience the hospitality of our great city. Yesterday, it was a turn of the Compagnie Générale Transatlantique out of Le Havre, France, to send the jewel of their crown, La Lorraine, sister ship of the equally sumptuous La Savoie, to take up her reserved berth on the Hudson River. Nor were her passengers confined to the cream of the high society of France. The Lorraine brought us all an extra and very special prize. Small wonder that from the breakfast hour, before even the French ship was clear of the roads and rounding of the tip of Battery Point, a host of private broughams and hansoms. I don't know what a brougham is, do you?
Nope.
I know what a hansom is. It's like a little carriage thing. What's a brougham?
It's probably the same thing then. A brougham.
A brougham, yeah, it's a carriage. It's a brougham, it's a carriage. Together we learn, together we become better. Okay.
Yes.
And, okay, so. A host of private broughams and hansoms, so carriages and carriages again, was beginning to choke Canal Street and Morton Street as sightseers from the mansions uptown sought a place from which to applaud our guest, New York style. And who was she? Why none other than Christine, Vicomtesse de Chagny, deemed by many to be the greatest opera soprano in the world. But don't tell Nellie Melba, who is due in 10 days. I don't know, man. The French line's Pier 42, was decked overall with bunting and the tricolor flags as the sun came out and the mist lifted to reveal the Lorraine, with her tugs fussing about her, easing herself stern first into her berth on the Hudson. So I wonder if Nellie Melba's actually going to be a notable character in this, because they are hyping her up quite a bit.
Let's hope so. And I can just see the Lorraine come in and all over the speakers they play.
Yep.
Because why not, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, well, yeah, and they've already got all the flags out, all the French flags out. So that's going to be interesting.
Yep. Oh, shall I do my New York announcer voice?
You don't need to. He's just Bernard. Don't worry about him.
Okay. Space was at a premium for our training crowds at the Lorraine greeted us with 3 great whoops from a foghorn and smaller vessels up and down the river, responded in kind. At the head of the pier was the podium, hung with French flags and Old Glory, where Major George B. McClellan would offer Madame de Chagny a formal welcome to New York.
He just acknowledged she was a Vicomtesse.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Just 5 days before she will start in the
inaugural.
Yeah, but it went back.
Oh, well, yeah, I was just flipping back to reference the...
Yeah. I do know what inaugural is. It's the inaugural opera at the new Manhattan Opera House. Grouped around the base of the podium was a sea of shining top hats and waving bonnets as half of New York society waited for the glimpse of the incoming star. From neighboring pier dockers and stevedores stevedores, okay,
Mhm.
who must surely never have heard of the opera house or the soprano, clambered up cranes and derricks to satisfy their curiosity. Before the Lorraine had cast her first hawser down the pier, every structure along the quay was black with humanity. French line staff rolled out a long red carpet from the dais to the base of the gangway as soon as the ladder was in place.
Hmm.
Customs men scurried up the gangway to complete the necessary formalities for the diva, and an entourage in the privacy of a stateroom, even as, with due pomp and circumstance, the major arrived at the pierhead, accompanied by a blue-coated squad of New York's finest. He and the bosses in City Hall and Tammany Hall, who had come with him, were escorted through the throng to mount the podium, not that way, I hope,
Oh.
while a police band
Jesus
struck up
Christ.
the Star-Spangled Banner. All hats were doffed as the major and state dignitaries took their places on the dais, facing down the pier to the lower end of the gangway. For myself, I had avoided the ground level press enclosure to occupy a window on the second floor of the warehouse right on the pierhead, and from here I could look out upon the entire scene. The better to describe to readers of the American just what happened. Aboard the Lorraine herself, the first-class passengers stared down from the upper decks, having themselves a grandstand view, but prevented from disembarking until civil welcome was over. In the lower portholes, I could see the faces of the steerage class passengers peering out and up to see what was going on. At a few minutes before 10, there was a hubbub on the Lorraine as the captain and a group of officers escorted a single figure towards the head of the gangway. After cordial farewells to her French compatriots, Mme. de Chagny began her journey down the gangway to her first ever contact with American soil. Waiting to greet her was Mr. Oscar Hammerstein, the impresario who owns and runs the Manhattan Opera, and whose tenacity of purpose has succeeded in enticing both the Vicomtesse and Nellie Melba across the Atlantic in winter to sing for us. It's fucking cold, I tell you.
All right, Jimmy Durante. With an old world gesture, seen with increasing rarity in our society, he bowed and kissed her extended hand. There was a loud "ooh" and some whistles from the workers clinging to the surrounding derricks, but the mood was joyful rather than mocking, and a round of applause greeted the gesture. It came from the ranks of the silk top hats grouped around the podium.
They were all mounted.
Reaching the red carpet, Madame de Chagny turned, and on the arm of Mr. Hammerstein, proceeded along the length of the quay towards the dais. Is it dais? Is it die? Is Christine Die on the die? Nah. Is it a dais? It's probably a dais.
It's days, probably.
I'm gonna learn about stuff.
Mm.
Dais. It is a dais. Yes. Yes, it sure is a dais. That's the word for it. I'm not used to this word. There we go.
Neither me.
All right. It's a low platform for a lectern or throne. Sure. It's just some kind of platform. Okay. Fabulous. We learn, we get better.
We do.
We do. So she's on that. As she did so, and with a flair that would certainly put her in the running for Mayor McClellan's job, she waved and flashed a beaming smile at the dockers atop the packing crates and hanging from the girders of the cranes. They replied with even more whistles, this time of great appreciation, and as none of them will ever hear her sing, this gesture went down extremely well. Through powerful glasses, I could bring the lady into focus from my upper window. At 32, she is very beautiful, trim, and petite. Opera lovers have been known to wonder how such a magnificent voice could be contained in such a lissom.
Yeah, small.
Listen frame? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, small frame.
Thank you. My level of education is now showing.
It's fine. I think Frederick Foreskin's education is a little bit worse.
So, right, but I'm just confused, right? Young Meg, she can't be like over 5 years younger than Christine, just in general from how the show is.
Yeah, but maybe like maybe like Father Joe is like fucking old. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. He certainly seems like he's got a life. He's led a life so far.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I put him at like 35, 36 or something. Like not much older than Christine.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. We haven't really been given much of a time frame for this. All right,
Indeed.
so Christine's real pretty. She wore it from shoulder to ankles, for despite the sun, the temperature was just above zero. A tight waisted and befrogged coat in burgundy velvet, trimmed with mink at throat, cuffs and hem, with a circular Cossack style hat of the same fur. Her hair was tucked into a neat chignon behind her head. The ladies of fashion of New York City will have to look to their laurels when this lady saunters down Peacock Alley. Behind her, I see her remarkably small and non-fussy entourage descending the gangway, her personal maid and former colleague, Mme. Giry, who may or may not know that her mother is dead. We don't know. Two male secretaries to handle her correspondence and traveling arrangements, her son Pierre, a handsome boy of 12, and his traveling tutor, an Irish priest in black soutane and broad-brimmed hat, youthful himself with a wide and open grin. So
Okay,
I'd
so
say
he
yeah.
is adult.
Yeah, he's not super old. He's like probably Meg's age-ish, which is even weirder. Maybe he's got like his sights set on her and it's real weird. I don't know.
Hmm.
As the lady was helped up to the podium, Mayor McClellan shook her hand, American style, and launched into his formal welcome, something he will have to repeat in 10 days' time for the Australian Nellie Melba. But if there were any fears that Madame de Chagny might not understand what was being said, these were soon dispelled. She needed no translation, and indeed, when the mayor had finished, she stepped to the front of the dais and thanked us all most prettily in fluent English with a delightful French accent.
Oh. I gotta
Oh,
ask you then.
yes.
If the priest has the hots for Meg,
Oh no.
do you mean that he wants to plow her potato field?
I don't think Meg has a potato field because she's French.
Oh yeah, right.
Right.
Do you think he want to uncork her bottle?
I don't know.
Uh,
I think I don't know. I think he wants to crock her madame or something. I don't know. What she had to say was both surprising and flattering. After her thanks to the mayor and the city for a most touching reception, she confirmed that she had come to sing for 1 week only in the inaugural opera at the Manhattan Opera House, and that the work in question would be an entirely new opera, never heard before by an unknown American composer. I don't know. I don't think Eric's assimilated very well. I'm just gonna say.
yeah, it's like, look, I know this. I can write, okay?
Like I know there's a whole, especially then, there was a, you know, once you immigrate, you're American, boom. And I get that, but then there's also like a team of people who are like, but are they assimilating? And a lot of the time the answer is yes. They got into the culture really, really well. They opened stores, the immigrants, they immersed themselves quite well into, I think, American society. But
not Eric.
I don't think Eric's following that same trajectory is what I'm saying here.
No, I think he's the same way. He's like, another place, just the same as another. Let's make money.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe Scammo the Clown was proof that that he's truly an American. Maybe he is. You know what? Fine. I'm not going to question Eric's says as an American. It seems rude. Okay.
Scammo the Clown. I love that.
Scammo the Postal Clown.
Yeah.
Then she revealed new details. The story would be set in the American Civil War and entitled The Angel of Shiloh, concerning the struggle between love and duty, besetting a Southern belle in love with a Union officer. She would sing the role of Eugenie Delarue. She added that she had seen the lyric and score in Paris in handwritten form, and it was the sheer beauty of the work that had caused her to change her itinerary and cross the Atlantic.
Clearly, her implication was that money had played no part in the decision. A poke in the eye for Nellie Melba. The working men on the cranes around the pier, silent while she spoke, let out a prolonged cheer, and many whistles, which would have been ill-mannered if they were not so obviously admiring.
It was a
Again,
respectful catcall.
yeah, yeah, it's not because they had the hoots for her. No. Again, she waved at them and turned to descend the steps on the other side in order to board her waiting coach.
And Raoul's just not here, so
Yeah.
let's not worry about Raoul at all, I guess.
What a dreadful Raoul. At this point, in a
Hitherto.
hitherto, okay, whatever. Why have an H there? Anyways, whatever. Uh, Carefully staged and flawless ceremony, two things happened which were emphatically not on the foreseen scenario. The first was puzzling and seen by few. The second caused a roar of amusement. They did go, ooh,
Amusement!
ooh. Yeah,
This is so funny.
fun.
Okay.
For
We
some
have roared in
reason,
amusement.
yes. For some reason, I let my glance stray from the dais below me while she was speaking and saw, standing on the roof of a great warehouse directly opposite mine, a strange figure.
Ooh!
It was a clown.
Eric just shows up in clown regalia for this. Christine, I'd like you to meet Scammo.
It was a man, standing quite motionless and staring down. He wore a broad-brimmed hat and was otherwise wrapped in a flowing cloak that flapped about him in the wind.
Ah, he's wearing the classic Phantom.
Ah, yes. There was something strange and vaguely sinister about the lone figure, standing high above us, looking down on the lady from France as she spoke. How did he get up there unseen? What was he doing? Why was he not with the rest of the crowd? I adjusted my eyeglasses for a new focus. He must have seen the sun glint on the lenses, for he suddenly looked up and stared straight back at me. Then I saw that he wore a mask over his face, and through the eye holes, it seemed as if he gazed fiercely at me for a couple of seconds. I heard a few shouts from the dockers.
Eye hole, yeah? If we're doing the Weber mask, there's only really one.
Yeah, that's true. But apparently he has a full mask in this one. I don't know.
Alright.
I heard a few shouts from the dockers, clinging still to the cold steel of the derricks, and saw pointing fingers. But by the time those below started to look up, he was gone, with a speed that defies explanation. 1 second he was there, the next the skyline was empty.
Boosh.
He had vanished as if he had never been vanished. No. Seconds later, the small chill this apparition might have created was dispelled by a roar of applause and laughter from below. Madame de Chagny had emerged from the rear of the race speaking days and was approaching the liveried brougham prepared for her by Mr. Hammerstein, the major of the city fathers, were a few steps behind. All saw them between their guest and their carriage. Beyond the range of the red carpet lay a large pool of half-melted slush, evidently left over from yesterday's snowfall. A man's stout boots would have made a short shrift of it, but the French aristocrat's dainty shoes? New York City government stood and stared in dismay but helpless.
Oh my god.
Then I saw a young man vault over the barrier that surrounded the press enclosure. He was wearing a coat of his own, but carried over his arm something else, which was soon revealed as a large evening cape. This He swung in an arc so that it landed
It landed
land
somewhere.
yeah wait let's see landed right over the slush between the opera star and the open door to the brothel. The lady flashed a brilliant smile, stepped onto the cape, and in 2 seconds was inside her carriage, with the coachman closing the door.
The young man picked up his soaking and muddied cape and exchanged a few words with the face framed in the window before the coach rattled away. Mayor McClellan gave the young man a grateful pat on the back, and as he turned, I perceived it was none other than a young colleague of mine on this very newspaper. All's well, as the saying goes, that ends well, and the welcome given by New York to the lady from Paris ended extremely well. Now she is ensconced in the finest suite at the Waldorf Astoria, with 5 days of rehearsals and a voice protecting before her no doubt triumphant debut at the Manhattan Opera House on December 3rd. Meanwhile, I suspect that a certain young colleague of mine from the city desk will be explaining to one and all that the spirit of Raleigh isn't entirely dead. Oh God, we're halfway through the book and Christine is only landed in New York now.
This is a really freaking weird paced book.
It's real weird.
Yeah. I mean, how can you take such a thing as the Phantom of Manhattan and make it this boring?
That's the thing. How is so much of this just filler and like really clumsy exposition?
It's really, honestly, it's terrible.
Oh, it's not a good book.
Yeah, we all knew it was not gonna be. That...
Newsflash! I'm really sorry, Michael, if you were not made aware of this.
No, we all knew this wasn't going to be a good book.
Indeed.
But, I mean, there's a difference between bad and bad.
Yeah.
And this is astonishingly bad.
Oh, yeah.
We just hit the 50% mark. And she just arrived. That'd be like if in the Phantom of the Opera that nothing was heard from the Phantom of the entire book to the half point.
Yeah, like at least Weber. I mean, you know, in the musical, like he's hinted at, and then like at the 30-minute mark, the Phantom comes up. But that's still about halfway through the first act, which is still like the 25% mark. You know, maybe the 33rd% mark, and that's fine. But you know,
honestly, he's mentioned the first time in the frigging prologue.
That's true.
And then he is mentioned again after you know, Carlotta has the thing followed behind her.
Yeah, that's true. Like he does stuff, and he's still actively involved in the story. This is just people kind of setting everything up. Like the Phantom's here. He's really here. There's definitely an Eric, and Christine's coming eventually. Promise.
Yeah, it's...
And Raoul's just not here. Like...
Yeah, I mean, why is he not here?
I don't know. What was it? What was the excuse? He wanted to attend to his estates in Normandy?
Yeah, so he does... So, yeah, and he hates America, I think.
What a dreadful town. It's not Normandy. Why is it not Normandy? I gotta be...
Oh, God. That... Yeah.
Oof. I don't even know if... Like, I don't even remember if Raoul is even in this book. Like, actively.
I really fucking hope he is.
I hope he is, too. I don't remember, though. Like, I know stuff is said about Raoul in this book, for sure. He's referred to, but I don't know if he's actually an active character at all.
Well, he should be, considering, like, without him, there is no one for the trio.
Well, I mean, you know, you could say, oh, well, now that the competition's been wiped out, you know, maybe it's just time for Eric and Christine to, you know, get reacquainted. Ain't that fine? But this is the halfway point. And the most Eric can do is just kind of stand on top of a building while Christine's like disembarking.
Yeah, it's honestly, this is not good. I mean, the to anyone who liked this book, I mean, hats off to you because I don't know how you do it. But second of all, it's not well written. It's not well done. It's it's paced as slow as a sloth eats.
Yep,
It's
basically.
yeah. This is a fucking this is a wade through a marshland. Ooh. I think that's the simplest way of explaining it.
That's valid. I'd say that's an incredibly valid take.
Mm.
Man.
Ugh. Jesus Christ on a pogo stick.
Let me
That
see what we're in for real quick. All right, yeah. So this next chapter is actually a little bit meaty. So I think we'll hold off until next
Yeah.
time for it.
I
But
think
it
so.
looks like we're going to meet the New York man again. The most New York man in the world, Charlie
Oh.
Bloom, yet again.
Oh, we're gonna meet Charlie Bloom.
Charlie Bloom! Hey!
It is going to be one great of a time.
I thought that was Gaylord. I thought you had Gaylord as the 20s announcer.
Well, I could do either. I don't
Ah,
care.
who knows? At this point, these are hardly people. Like, they're all just
Yeah.
devices. It's very just transparent that
You're
Forsyth
not
only...
even people.
Well, Forsyth is only he's only seeing these people as just plot devices, and it's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. I mean, I know I joke a lot and I call him Frederick Foreskin and stuff, but I mean,
Yeah.
he really doesn't really know how to do this.
But he's written other books. This is a published work by he didn't self-publish this. This is just something that people put out.
Mm. It's just, but it's terrible.
He sent this to a publisher. It was edited allegedly, and you know,
Allegedly.
I'm just gonna see if I can go all the way back here to the earliest bit to see if there was indeed, yeah, Bantam Press. This is a real book. It was published by an actual company, and this isn't even his first book.
Jeez.
Yeah. Also by Frederick Forsyth.
I mean, if this was his first work,
Oh God, I lied. There are only 17 chapters in this book.
yeah.
I thought, oh, maybe there are 27, but no, it's 17.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's 16 and an epilogue and a preface.
Yeah, the fucking preface took up 10% of the whole thing.
Yeah, the preface took up 10% of the damn book, and then Antoinette Giry dying took up another 10%, and then since then we've just been chunking along.
Yeah. I mean, I can't let this go.
No, don't.
The whole chapter with the confession of Antoinette Giry. It's just the whole thing oh, I'm dying, priest, I need you, I'm here. Yeah, but listen to my story first, okay? I have other people to... Yeah, they can wait. Someone died! Yeah, well, they'll go to hell.
Is this important to the story? If you have a character asking if this is important, then maybe you should consider cutting it.
Yeah, basically. Because we're not asking it. We know it's not important to the story. I mean, it semi was because of the whole oh, I know this man. But this is not something you tell a priest on your deathbed.
I mean, I don't know deathbed etiquette. I'll say that, but
no. But again, with an iron crab in your fucking body.
Metal.
Metal,
It was
yeah.
never. We don't know what. We don't know what type of metal. It's just she succumbed to the metal crab and she is dying.
Metal crab. I just think it's fine. I think it's funny as heck. What if the metal crab is actually something?
Again, if anyone knows what a metal crab is, we are basically pretty much every time we've come on here, we've been begging for somebody to explain this to us because I've done the cursory research that should help and nothing has come up. So please,
Somebody, we will credit you. Tell us what a metal crab is. What did Mme Giry die of? We got nothing.
Yeah.
Why
It's
is
like,
she dead?
it's weird.
Yeah.
It's like, uh, I've tried finding it everywhere.
Like you've actually attempted to do further research on this, the metal crab.
Yes, I did.
I'm just gonna pull this up a little bit, see if I can find the excerpt, just so people know that indeed. All right, Meg was blah blah blah. Oh boy, am I? Oh, good, it's not. Okay, I got a little support pop up, saying I should scan some stuff on my computer. That's valid, but I don't care about it right now. What matters now is the metal crab. That's all that matters. Run later, please. There's more, Father. Have you the time? She asks. Famous last words. Okay. Let's see. So
Famous
poor
last
Eric.
words after finishing the last chapter of her novel.
Maybe. Oh yeah. Blah blah blah. Jules. The knee. Metal crab. Bismuth. Steel crab. Oh, it was steel.
Steel crab.
Yeah. The steel crab is yeah. Maybe that's what we're doing. Maybe we looked up the wrong thing. Maybe metal crab, wasn't working. But maybe steel crab is the thing.
Yeah, because I can't find any of this. Unless it's like oh wait. These lice are known as crabs.
No. No! Madame Giry does not have crabs.
Sexually transmitted
No!
infection. She's dying of it.
I mean, I think eventually, like, all STIs can prove fatal after, like, you elevated it to a certain extent of non-treatment, but oh my god, no.
I love making you uncomfortable. I just...
Oh god. Here, I thought you were going to be the straight man and I was going to be the wacky person in this arrangement, but I think we trade off quite nicely.
Honestly, how can either of us be that with this?
I don't know.
No, seriously. I'm looking for a steel crab as well. I can't find shit.
Okay. So, Madame Giry's dead. Forsyth made up the reason, but she's dead. It's tragic.
The only thing I can think of is, but that's for crayfish. If she would have said she had like the crayfish or something like that, because that literally crayfish is cancer.
Oh, well then maybe Forsyth just wanted to get really creative, because like silverfish is a thing that.
So she has steel cancer.
It's real bad, but I'm just thinking of
It's the cancer of steel.
No, I'm thinking of Super Smash Brothers. Metal Crab.
Oh.
Metal Mario.
Oh God.
Metal Samus.
So wait, is that like pieces or what is that?
Sort of. So like in Super Smash Brothers, or at least the version that I grew up with and ultimately have only really played exclusively is Super Smash Melee. And if you're brawling with people, sometimes little bonuses and effects can fall from the sky and you pick them up and you do what you need to do with them. One of the things turns you just completely metal, and it's sort of just like a thing that I don't know, your character just turns into metal, and it just kind of knows metal, whatever. Yeah.
I just looked it up, by the way.
The steel crab?
Yeah. The Latin for crab is cancer.
But that's just astrology.
Yeah. But astrology is based on Latin.
Yeah.
And basically it's the same thing. And like I said, I just wrote crab Latin translated to cancer.
Okay.
So
maybe
what's steel cancer?
Steel.
Let's see. Steel cancer cancer incidence amongst mild steel and stainless steel welders. Yeah, she's not a welder.
Ah, Mme Giry, welder to the stars. I don't know.
She's like the what's that one called? Rosie, uh, um, r- riveting Rosie or something like that.
Oh, Rosie the Riveter. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yes, Madame Giry can, of course, but at the same time, I don't think it's relevant to how she
What
died.
one could say she has welded her relationships together.
Whoa! I don't get it.
No, me neither. It's fine. I just said something idiotic.
That's
Anyways,
fine. That's half of what this whole thing is. I say so many idiotic things every time we go through this just because of how ridiculous this book is.
yeah, and actually, it is like you said yourself, it is a ridiculous book. But I should say, by reading it the way we are, it certainly has like an enjoyment value to it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hmm. I mean, we can mock it however much we want, but we are laughing at it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I would never read this book again alone. I would never give it a reread by myself.
Yeah, no, hell no. Like, I think this is just one of those things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that it's not something that I particularly look forward to.
Oh, I look forward to it. I like remembering what was so disturbing and ridiculous about this book.
Yeah, well, like I said, since I haven't read this before, I basically just want to know because I hear so much shit about it,
And I
and
get
it
to
is
see your reactions,
yeah, and
your
it
fresh
is the worst.
reactions.
It is the worst sort of schlock. It is, but the thing is, I have quite literally read and seen so much schlock that this is probably like of the lesser end of it. Like seriously, if you had seen half of the freaking bad stuff I've seen,
Hmm.
this would be nothing.